Finally, Joe Rogan comes out giving Donald Trump props after the assassination attempt that happened this past Saturday. That's crazy. Now, Let TV endorses the man. In this clip, we're going to take a look at Joe Rogan talking, but I'm going to black the image so like that I won't get any strikes. So let's just take a look and let's hear him out. All right, here we go.
The Joe Rogan experience.
Speaking of which, how about that president? How about that Trump fella? How crazy is this? If there's ever been a real indication that we're in a simulation, it's like this season of USA is the craziest season that's ever existed. There's so many twists and turns, so many plots, so many villains, so many incompetent, bumbling fools that you're like, there's no way that lady's a heartbeat away from the president. There's no way. There's no way someone is not telling her to stop saying that same thing over and over again. What can be unburdened by what has been? Like, she just says it over and over and over again. This isn't real. This is writing. Someone wrote this. It seems like a script.
When a president that is giving a speech gets shot in the ear and then stands up and goes full John Bender at the end of Breakfast Club,
bro, he pumps his fist in the air.
That was a crazy
and says, "Fight, fight, fight." And when the fucking guy who's the photographer is a wizard, that guy who got that photograph, find out his name because this guy's award-winning
with
photographer.
The flag above it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the angle that he got it, like where he was standing when he took the photo. It's one of the most iconic photos of all time.
He had a GoPro on it while he was doing it. So
wow.
Move in position of take it.
Wow. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. So you could see as the bullets start flying, this fucking dude doesn't even duck. He's still got his camera out. He's right behind Trump and he's just got his camera out. That is so gangster. I mean, you want to talk about getting a shot no matter what? He's running around. There could be bullets flying his way.
I would think you're holding up something black in your hand that's pointed at the president. You fucking should get shot.
I mean, the Trump story is right out of a movie. And I'm hoping it's not a Stephen King movie.
This came out while we've been recording.
Secret Service ramped up security after receiving intel of Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. No known connection to shooting. Oh, they ramped that up, and so they ignored the roof 150 yards away?
Yeah, there's so many things where you just go, what the fuck?
What the fuck, dude? Yeah. All of it. And there's so much of it that seems fake, like the female Secret Service agent that can't holster her weapon. Have you seen this? She's like moving around all erratically and she tries to holster her weapon. She can't get it in there and she can't figure out how to put it in there. And she stops for a minute and she just tries back to do it again. And it looks so fake.
Is she an actress?
No, it looks like an actress. Though.
Okay.
It looks like if you were going to have a bumbling person in a movie, like almost like a comedy of errors or a Coen Brothers movie about an assassination attempt on a president. You have this lady, like here, watch what her gun. Look, she gets her gun out. She tried to put it in there. She couldn't do it. And she's thinking about putting it back in there. She finally gets it in there. Like the whole thing is like, look at her fumbling around. The whole thing is crazy. They're erratic movements. No one knows exactly what to do. It seems fake.
Yeah, that's an audition I could nail.
Yeah, it seems like, okay, now you're panicking. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You really shouldn't be here. Go. You're like, where do I put my gun? Like it does. You want Secret Service cool, calm, collected, high ready with the gun, scanning the area, looking left and right.
Yep.
You want them like swift, decisive movements. You don't want to see any of this fucking squirrely trying to put the gun back in. It seems fake.
When you see the Reagan shot, it is just a bunch of people moving as one.
They dive on him. Yeah. Bang, dive on him. It almost seems like as this simulation gets further and further along, it gets more and more insane.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, they dive.
Immediately, they got him.
Immediately. They get his gun immediately. And Reagan survives.
Yeah.
Which is also crazy. The Trump one is just so nuts, too. Like, if he turns his head at the last second and the bullet grazes his ears, if he didn't, it hits the back of his head. and he's dead, and then we fall into chaos, and who knows what the fuck happens.
Big chaos.
And then people think that the Biden administration had Trump killed, and then there's these questions like, how the fuck does this 20-year-old kid climb on that roof 150 yards away and no one sees him?
Well, that one guy was pointing at him the whole time.
Yes.
He's like pointing to, he's like, he's right there.
And they're yelling, he's got a gun. There's a guy in the prone position on a roof 150 yards away from the former president. The whole thing's nuts. The whole thing stinks of either incompetence or a design, or we're in the Matrix. This is a fucking fake movie. It seems like almost to watch this, the most bombastic and manly of presidents, you know, for a lack of a better term, to see him with these two female bumbling Secret Service agents, especially the one, to see that, to see everything happen the way it is, to see that they knew this guy was on the roof, to hear that guy had pointed his rifle before that at a cop. So the cop engaged him. He pointed the rifle and the cop ran away. The guy climbed the roof with a ladder. You can see the ladder. The whole thing is bananas.
Yeah,
he's 20 years old. And then you find out he was in a BlackRock commercial. You're like, is this the Black Mirror? Like, tell me what's going on. Is this real? Is this real? And then Trump goes golfing with a bandage on his ear the next day.
Yeah. And then the putt, when he made the putt.
Wow.
Did you hear his quote?
No.
He said, that's the difference between me and the shooter. I don't miss.
Like, this isn't a real person.
And then now you have people flooding from the left being like, all right.
Yeah.
That's a good quote. I'll do this.
There's people that are like, okay, he won. Like, they've just given in. They're not even going to try to run anybody other than Biden now. They were trying to get Biden out, and now I think they've abandoned that.
Well, I wonder if they're doing the old, like, train the boxer as a southpaw.
Yeah, I read that golf story too. This is not the first time. There's a lot of golf accounts that put out fake shit.
Oh,
and that.
Jamie, stop ruining our dreams.
I just want to.
You son of a bitch.
That was not seemingly real.
Jamie plays a lot of golf, and he gets very touchy when it comes to golf, and he calls
fair.
Bullshit.
That's fair.
It just came from a Reddit post that people screenshotted. There was no pictures, no nothing else.
Oh,
no,
well, touche, young troll.
Yeah,
touche.
it happens a lot.
You got your fucking story mentioned on the podcast.
That's me. You can get me very easily.
I did read that too. The whole thing's so wild. There's video of the kid in the BlackRock commercial, and you're like, what? And there's the video of a kid, like they're saying he's getting bullied in high school, but it doesn't seem like he's being bullied. It seems like everyone's having fun because he's talking about how he has a 10-inch penis, and they're just filming each other. It looks like they're having fun, and you're looking like, how is it? 2 years later, this guy tries to kill Trump. Like, what happened?
Yeah,
and then you find out he was a registered Republican. Like, what?
It's a lie.
You know, high school, those 10-inch dick guys always getting bullied. Always.
He was saying it funny. It was like he's trying to be funny. You know, say, yeah, I got a 10-inch penis. I mean, he wasn't saying like, I definitely have a 10-inch dick. It was like it didn't seem like he was being bullied. I mean, obviously I saw one clip. Who knows what the fuck the full context of it is, but
right.
20 years old. And he's got this idea, and he pulls it off. He actually gets a shot off and nicks him, and then they kill him. Like, you're seeing this 20-year-old kid, his life is over. Like, somehow or another, he talked himself into trying to assassinate the president as a lone gunman in Pennsylvania, got on top of a roof, either through sheer incompetence or for some other reason. He actually gets a shot off, and the president just moves his head at the right time. Like, the whole thing is, if it was in a movie, I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
That'll make you believe in God. That's like God's up there when he's going like, I don't want to talk to this guy yet. He's a lot.
Trump is king.
Yeah.
I don't want him up here yet.
I
don't want him yet. I'm the greatest angel.
Or maybe he wants him here to expose how crazy our political system really is. Because the only way we find out how coordinated everything is, whether you're a Trump fan or not, even if you hate Trump, put that aside for a second and just look at how much coordination there is in the media to go after him. And it exposes like this thing where you have to step back and go, wait a minute, hold on a second. What's really going on? Like, whether you hate that guy or not, hate him, think he's a crook, hate him, think he's a liar, hate him. Don't you think it's weird that they're all in lockstep with the way they talk about him, even with things that aren't true. Like, especially like the Russia collusion hoax that they all talked about for years and years. I thought it was real. I thought like he colluded with Russia, and that was like the crazy thing about him winning the presidency. Oh my God, he worked with Russia. Maybe Russia has something on him. You kept hearing about it, right? That was just bullshit. And they went through that for years and years. And then you start going, okay, what else is coordinated where everybody is saying something? Like, how about the Nord Stream pipeline? You know, Seymour Hersh says we blew it up. Like, esteemed journalist is like, no matter what they say, I am telling you, this was our doing. We blew this up. This wasn't some other country. This wasn't Russia. They wouldn't blow up their own pipeline. We blew it up. But every newspaper is like, this is bullshit. This was impossible. It could not happen. This was Russian disinformation. Russian disinformation. You hear it about like every story. It's like so hard to understand. Like, what is the motivation to getting these stories out? Are these narratives created by the real government that runs everything and then like tells the news organizations that are in business with them what to say and what to do?
I mean,
that's where it gets spooky.
You get like, you're voting for a guy who isn't doing much when he gets there. I mean, there's a lot of people around that are making these things. And I will tell you, I still believe some of the Russian shit, because you've heard me fucking misquote the Gulf thing. I mean, I still believe a lot of shit I hear.
Oh, I do all the time. They get me all the time. There's so many stories that I'm sure are bullshit that I've parroted.
But if Trump wouldn't play the political game, if he wouldn't put the people on the Supreme Court, I mean, I know it's his job when he's in there, but if he wouldn't do any of that shit, he's definitely the come out on stage and be like waving papers. You guys aren't going to fucking believe this.
Yeah.
And tell everybody everything.
He is, if he wasn't doing that other stuff. But the only way he gets any support is if he does that other stuff too. Like, you got to understand about Trump. He was a lifelong Democrat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lifelong.
Yep.
Which is so weird.
Wasn't it when he was starting to run for president? Wasn't he still like? Wasn't he when he started talking about it?
I believe
still
so.
A Democrat. Right?
Yes,
yeah,
I believe so. Well, he had a very close relationship with the Clintons to the point where he paid them to come to his wedding, or his daughter's wedding, or one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, you would pay them, and they would come to weddings and events, and he would go to events. You know, that was like the famous thing that was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Do you remember that? The White House Press Correspondents' Dinner was always supposed to be this thing where comedians would do it, and they would like Michelle Wolf did it one year, fucking crushed it.
I remember.
She crushed it
so hard.
And they would go up, and Trump was, by the way, the first guy to not do it. Like, you're not making fun of me? Which is kind of a pussy move. But every other president got roasted. And one time, during the White House press correspondence thing, Obama went on stage and he roasted Trump. And one of the lines he said to Trump, he said, "I'm one thing that you'll never be, which is the president of the United States." Because this is when Trump was trying to claim that Obama's from Kenya. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The birther stuff.
Yeah.
Which is wild. That stuff was wild. You know, he was like saying he knows for sure that Obama came from Kenya. And then there's people that were like examining photoshops of the birth certificate. It was a crazy conspiracy. And that was, you know, he was roasting Trump in the audience, and you could see Trump in his head going, "Oh, okay, I'm going to fucking run now." Like, that might have been the thing that got him to run. Like, legitimately, that's how crazy that guy is. That one moment where Obama was talking shit to him might be the reason why Trump was like, I'll fucking show you. Because you do not want that fucking guy on your bad side.
Well, this is the first time I've ever meant this, but thanks, Obama.
Whoops. What a crazy turn of it. Again, seems like it's written. Seems like a script. Seems like a simulation.
That shit really does.
It really does. So much of it really does. So much of life really feels like a simulation. And the thing about this Trump stuff and just all of this stuff that's happening with social media and AI, the guy who's at the helm of one of the biggest social media networks in the world is Elon Musk. Elon Musk said that the odds of us not being in the simulation are in the billions. He believes wholeheartedly that we're in a simulation.
Crazy. Joe Rogan finally giving props to Donald Trump. All right, last two things that need to happen. Number one, Joe Rogan needs to endorse Donald Trump and invite him in the show before the November election. And number two, Trump needs to go back to Butler, PA, and show that he has no fear. He's here for the people, and he's just going to show up and give credit to those who support him. But what do you think? My name is Noel, Battling MS, here at Verbal on Life, and I wanted to share that Rogan clip with you guys. Be sure to give a like before you go, and see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Verbal on life.